Well, hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Williams, Chief Economist at ALEC and Vice President of our Center for State Fiscal Reform. We're here from the ALEC annual meeting in New Orleans, and I'm really glad to be joined by Louisiana State Treasurer John Schroder, ALEC alumni, a member of ours who served a decade in the state legislature. Thanks for being with us, Treasurer.
Well, I'm glad I was able to come.
Well, glad to have you here. And one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about first is you served a decade in the legislative branch. Now you're seeing things from a little bit of a different perch as state treasurer. It's an awesome responsibility. People trust you. I know you believe a lot in building people's trust in government. Talk about your movement from the legislative branch to the treasurer's branch.
Well, I get asked a lot, why did I run for treasurer? And you know, one of my not I say pet peeves, but one of my anxieties that I see as an Army veteran and a former narcotics agent, and I've spent a lot of time in public service as an adult, and I see people losing faith in this process and losing faith in our leaders, and in a lot of different areas, in education and law enforcement and in our public servants. And so, you know, I've sort of made it my mission to help restore the faith in what people are losing in what it means to be a public servant. So I believe heavily, I've pushed strongly to be transparent, to push government to be more transparent, and try to rid the process of some politics by influencing it through the media. Certainly I don't have a vote, but I have a much bigger voice now and a much bigger podium that I can talk about these things, because I think you've learned today, there's no subject that I won't discuss. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer. Whether you like the answer or not, you're going to have to decide on that, but we don't do enough of that, and people are losing faith in our public servants. So that's one of the things I work very hard on.
Well, you know, it's great to have that perspective, and you know, I know you're involved with the State Financial Officers Foundation, a group that I'm involved with, believe very heavily in, is the ALEC for state treasurers and auditors. Talk a little bit about what it means to be engaged with a national network like an ALEC or State Financial Officers Foundation group.
Well, look, you got so many things going on. You need think tanks, you need organizations that can help you get down to the facts. Because you don't have that kind of time, you don't have research time, and you don't have staff time. I don't have that big of a staff in my department, so I need to rely on outside groups just to give me the facts. And as I told several people today about pension, I could spend the next 25 years studying pension, and you may never learn everything about it. But I want to be, everybody knows it's a problem. Nobody wants to address it, though. They know it's broken, and they know we need to fix it, but they don't want to make that hard decision to, you know, we'll fix it next year, or let's fix it next year. So I think organizations like ALEC, who do a lot of research and bring that data to people like me, who then make our job a little easier. You know, as a former member of ALEC, you know, ALEC's always been on issues that I was close to, especially education, and you know, transparency's been big, and certainly pension reform.
Well, that's a great point. I think, you know, financial interests of literacy and pensions are going to be a huge going forward, and I really appreciate your focus on that. Let's turn and focus just a little bit to the competitiveness picture for Louisiana versus states in the region.
Yeah.
And I know that your governor has made the assertion that Louisiana has cut taxes recently. I know you have a bit of a different take from the governor. Just explain maybe that issue, as well as where Louisiana stacks up and where you can go to be more competitive again.
Look, I think all you need to hear is that Louisiana ranks second highest in the nation in sales tax. I don't think that's good for anybody. You know, we just passed a bill during this previous session that just ended, and added a half penny to our sales tax. But that was on top of a penny expiring. So we put a penny on for 27 months to give us, the legislature and the executive branch, time to work on reforms, look at tax reform, look at things within the budget and the structure, because we have a lot of constitutionally protected dollars. I mean, most of our budget's already spent. The legislature has no authority because it's all protected in the Constitution. So there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, but nothing got done. So 27 months roll by, the one penny falls off, they go into special session and come back with a half penny, basically, for the next 7 years. So they've raised taxes, $600 million. because all that expired. It was a temporary tax that expires. I don't know how you get that that's not raising taxes. Not where I went to school.
And as the rest of the nation, especially the Southeast, are working to, states in that region are working to cut taxes,
right.
Louisiana rose in the other direction, really,
yeah,
unfortunately.
That's a good point. You know, with the federal changes to tax laws, you know, Louisiana citizens are going to pay $300+ million more in taxes than they did a year ago. But you know, that was lost in this conversation. They took that money like it was manna from the heavens, and then put a sales tax in on top of that. So I mean, you were talking almost $1 billion between the money you got from people from the federal tax law changes and a half a penny.
Well, Treasurer, thanks for being with us here in New Orleans for our annual meeting. We appreciate your partnership, your friendship, and best of luck to you going forward here in Louisiana.
Well, look, I appreciate it. Any time that I could be of some service to ALEC, and if you need me to come fire up the crowd, you just call me up.
Well, there you hear it, ladies and gentlemen. State Treasurer John Schroder, ALEC alumni in the great state of Louisiana. Go to alec.org to learn more. Thanks for being with us today.